William. I be ballin'. Wrote to William. Amateur. What up? What up? What up? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, ballers and ballettes. Yo, it's Ashley. I be ballin' with Road to William. We doing another movie review clash. Let's get it. So there's this great film that I really like called Amateur. It's a basketball film on Netflix. So after this review, go check it out. It's dope. It got Rainey Jr. in it from Power Book. And it's a dope film about a 14-year-old boy and and he's playing basketball and he's navigating through the basketball journey with AAU and he's trying to get he's trying to achieve his hoop dreams, right? But there's a lot of corruption in the youth, AAU, and so a little background: he's playing on this basketball team, but then he's recruited to go to this elite prep high school, a better team that has better everything, right? Better sponsors, better gear, right? But what he don't know is, there's a lot of corruption behind the scenes. All these adults trying to get things, a lot of bribery. And also, his dad is played by Brian White. He's a great actor. And he has a head problem from playing football in his younger days. And his father is trying to get him to a higher level as well. And so back in the day, before there was NIL, NIL deals, the players are getting paid now, but before they wasn't. So there was a lot of things under the table, right? A lot of money under the table, right? A lot of gifts being exchanged because they want, all the adults and coaches, they want the best high school players to come to their team to win. They want the best, players in college so they can win in college. So all the upper ups and the owners are getting paid, but not the kids. Before you can use your name and your likeness, right? Back in the day. Now you can, but before you couldn't. So, Will, coming over from Road to William, can you tell me a little bit about what you thought about Amateur in the movie?
Yeah, I like the movie. I like Michael's acting. It was funny rewatching it because I'm like, he looks like a child, like a little baby compared to how he does. He grew up. He grew up. But no, the movie it gave a lot of lessons on how to kind of like get yourself out of a situation. Um, like in the end, it was basically like, how are you going to get yourself out of this mess you put yourself in? But I enjoyed it a lot. I was watching the adults versus, Michael's character because I'm like, what's the angle here? Like, what are the benefits for him versus for the team, the parents, and really not even the mom. Like, the mom wasn't really money hungry. She wasn't like money motivated. Her whole thing was like, I want you to get better with your math. Like, I want to make sure you can go to college, and she was looking more of the traditional route. But we saw with her traditional route where that leads, where it's like, yeah, he could do this, that, and follow the norm, but she was struggling to pay her bills, and the father, life happened, and like he couldn't play his dream sport anymore. And so Michael's character had kind of a both way to look at it. Like, this is what could happen if, something happened, like something bad happens. And then he looks at it like, well, this is the route if I just go education wise, and then he was trying to pave his own path for himself. Like, okay, neither of those look like it worked. I want to do what even from the beginning, he told him, his mom, like, he was like basically separating himself from his father. Because the mom, in her eyes, it looks like the same. You know what I mean? What if something happens? What she always wanted to know, the what if, because she's already been through the what if he gets hurt, because she's watching watching his father, and so she's more concerned because she's seen the reality, and no one's ever seen the real dream except the father. And so he kind of like pushed his son to like, no, you can do this. But he was more of a money hungry guy, and it was like, he's in his life, he's trying to do right, but he's not doing it the right way. Like, but he only knows the way he's probably been shown too. And so I like that we kind of see different perspectives, but ultimately, no matter what choices your family or your parents want you to make, you're going to have to choose your own path. You're going to have to figure this out on your own eventually. And so I like the movie for, like, you got to make your own path,
Yeah. Deep thoughts from my cuzzo. So the thing about it is, what I took from it is the adults that should be paving the way for these children are setting a bad example, and you see a lot of it. And sometimes it's the parents, sometimes it's the coaches, sometimes it's the owner of the team. And who gets in trouble? Sometimes it's like the kids get in trouble. And for example, education wise, they're not getting the education. Why? Because people are like, no, you just focus on basketball. We can do your homework, take care of your tests. So he wasn't learning. Plus he has, a learning disability with numbers. And guess what? You need numbers in basketball. Like, in with the stats and the analytics and the scoreboard, he had to get help with the scoreboard. He couldn't read the scoreboard, right? Because of, his problem with math and numbers, right? And so he's you're not focused on the kids' education, their brain. You're just using them, you know, it's like a farm system, and it happens on every level, right? Kids are going to different high schools. Why? Why? Because people are recruiting them. Then sometimes the parents get paid. Like, okay, my son can go to this high school and I can get paid from this guy, right? It happens in college. And sometimes people are investigating, and then certain, trophies get taken away. Like Reggie Bush, his trophy got taken away because they're like, oh, you were paid, for some reason under the table. That's why you picked this school, right? Even remember, we watched the LeBron James movie. People thought that they're like, where did you get this Hummer from? How did you afford this Hummer? Was he paid by somebody? Right? And, I found out that Kobe Bryant, he chose high school over college. He chose the pros because back then in the 90s, you could go straight out of high school, a senior. So he chose the NBA, right? Because, his parents needed the money. So why then they started the and one rule. One and done rule, where you had to go to college, right? 1 year. And it's like, that's how NIL deals happen. They're like, the players are getting used. So now they get NIL deals and they can get sponsors, you know, playing from college and high school. But some people don't like it because they're like, can these kids balance all this money now? Because they're not pros yet. They're in high school and college getting paid. So it's like there's not a balance, right? They're trying to find the balance. But I just think the movie is about corruption and and it happens in not just basketball, every sport, and sometimes every industry. These kids are being used. And basically what happened is he recorded live, you know, on Instagram, a conversation between his dad and the coach, and they were arguing about stuff, right? And he posted it, live. So now you're screwed. So the coach is gonna get fired, and you're gonna get fired too, because now you're telling on yourself. So you're telling, you know, on other people too. But because he tried to be like, okay, they're using me, let me put this out on the table. But now you're screwing yourself up. So now it's like, what can I do? So he ended up getting an offer to go overseas. And there's a lot of players that go overseas now. Some go to the G League Ignite, but before even that, remember Brandon Jennings? Brandon Jennings was actually the first, high school phenom to go overseas because he wanted to go to college, but he couldn't pass the test or something like that. So he goes overseas, and he's the first phenom to do that, and he got drafted, and more players followed his path, and it turned good for him. Every case is different, obviously, but so I'm rambling, but um, how would you rate the film? Like 1 through 5, how would you rate the film? I love the basketball scenes. Um, I love the basketball scenes. You can tell that, Michael Rainey Jr., aka Tyreek from Power Book, and it's the final season. I'm mad about that, but I'm gonna stay on topic. Um, um, you could tell, he got some game. He got some game. The handles were there. The jumper was there. He had some handles. But how would you rate it 1 through 5?
1 through 5, I'm gonna give them a 5 because the acting was on point. I've been paying more attention to people's acting because I want to get into it myself. And a fun fact about Michael Rainey Jr. is he never took acting classes before.
Really?
His mom got him into, I forgot his start, but his mom basically helped him get into acting with maybe starting off with commercials here. I don't know, wasn't his first film Love with Common?
Yeah, LUV, that's when I first saw him. And I was like, he's going places because that young and to carry the film basically and that emotion he displayed, I was like, this kid going places.
Yeah, and I liked in the end of Amateur, like he cried because he's looking at these kids and he's crying. I think it's a mixture of joy and pain because it's like behind him he has his family, he has this limo, they about to go overseas, he got his family straight, but he's looking back by looking at these kids and saying, dang. And he's probably also thinking about the numbers in class of what's the probability of going to the NBA. And it's like these kids, you can see these kids, they not just playing just to play. They trying to get better with their game. And how many other little kids out there are trying to work their way up so they can also take care of their family. And what I thought was interesting was what they play with a lot in the film is the coach is promising him in the beginning, like, well, what do you want? And then even at a young age, even for him being the 8th grader, he knew he wanted to take care of his family. And I think that's, I can't really speak for other, skin folk, but for Black people, a lot of times, um, Black people always have that first mindset when they make it, when they first get they bag, they big bag, they want to take care of their family. Um, and so I feel like he kind of played on that. The coach played on that, like, well, it's all about the money then. You know what I mean? And it was for everybody, even the the dude who hated on him at first on the team. I forgot his name.
Oh, okay.
He
I know.
even said at one point when they started becoming friends, like, "Oh, we playing for the brands. We not playing for the team." He didn't even say we playing for the love of the game. And I think it goes to show, like, at the end, what I got from it was like, you just want to do something that you love, and yes, the thing you love, you want to be able to pay your bills. You want to be able to take care of your family, because everybody's his dad is stressing, and that's probably not good on his health, on his head. His mom is stressed. She looked whoa out the whole movie, and like the relief she had was like, I don't know. You want that for your everybody, like, y'all don't have to work anymore, and so something that they didn't even think was possible happened. And for him to be so young to be like, I'm gonna take care of y'all, he could have been like, ooh, I want to get this game, I want to get this toy, I want to get this. But he already knew what he wanted from a young age. But I think it taught a lot of lessons. Um, but it had to get out there, like you said. It was like, yeah, it hurt him, but it had to be done. Harry Potter had to kill Voldemort. Did he get hurt a little bit? Yeah. His hand was burned. He blacked out. But Voldemort had to go. He had to get out of there. He had to leave. And only Harry could do it. And so if we wanted to compare it to that, I think if you're trying to change something and something you've never done, you probably are gonna affect yourself because you're the one doing it. But it had to be done, and it changed. And I'm glad, like, no one was mad at him, because that could have been an easy thing if the coach didn't care about him or what he was doing or all his teammates. Because at first it seemed like this coach is a slime ball. He just in it for the money. But like, even that scene where he's like about to fight the other coach because he's like, "Don't talk to my players," but like Michael's, character dad went over there because he thinking, "Oh, maybe it's something better over here." He's looking out for his son, but it's like the coach already knew what that other coach mindset was. He's like, "No, he is the real slime ball, and I don't want you talking to him because he could have ended up with a worse coach where it was." All that same stuff could have happened, but the coach wouldn't have tried to help him get a better deal and tried to help him go overseas and work things out. So it's like he lucked out on his coach. And but yeah, it was I give it a 5 out of 5. I love the mom. I love her in everything she's in. This Christmas, Dreamgirls, a whole bunch of
Sharon
other.
Neal, I believe, is her name.
And they be working her nerves every film. Okay. Brian, he gets on my nerves, but he's a really good actor. But every movie he pisses me off. But other than that, yeah. Also, I want to say with Michael's power thing, quick, like, I know at one point maybe he said something in the interview like he didn't. Not that he didn't want to be in power, but he didn't want that to be the only thing he was known for. And so, but I think he does a pretty good job with like being in that and also other stuff. So yeah, I feel like maybe they're gonna revamp it at some point, but maybe this is a good break for everybody to kind of be like, okay, we can dive into more other stuff. I don't think they should kill it off completely. I think maybe put him in force a little bit or put him in some stuff, but I think this is a good time to kind of just revamp itself. So yeah.
Those are definitely great insights on the movie and, the pain and the joy of, athletics, youth sports. And Good insight on, the Michael Rainey situation with Power Book. Maybe he can get some more roles. I heard him and Giovanni are gonna be writing, so maybe they can do a project together. He could spread his wings more. That's a good way to look at it. And also, they can also, when he gets older, they can always bring it back.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Like Power. I think Power. We all know Ghost ain't dead. Okay, let's get to that. He's not done. Okay,
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
needs to be said. Okay, so I think all of this. I think it's a way to like trick the fans in a way because it's gonna cause conversation. It's gonna call even the BMF cast is going at him per usual. But I think it's good. I think it's good.
I could actually see in the finale Ghost appearing and seeing his father, and then it ends, and then more anticipation. Then they create another power. Maybe instead of Power Book, it's Power
A
Soap Opera.
different.
No,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Pope. No, Power Surge. Power Electricity. No,
Yeah.
Power.
Electric. A world, because Power is basically all about a world, and I feel like if they dove into a world where it was like, okay, he didn't die, but what would it have been like if he didn't die and like they moved forward from where they are now from Ghosts, like, and we kind of just live in that world. I don't know. They could do anything. They could do anything. I don't know.
Yeah, because every series, and every character can have its own show, and it can keep going and going like Marvel. And all these superheroes are in Marvel, and every superhero got their own thing, and then it all ties in together. And it's like, shout out to the writers. They know what they're doing.
Somebody said they want to see a different show from Rockwell Rock.
Oh, how she got started and stuff.
Yeah, because what?
Like a young Raquel. Oh, oh.
Maybe yeah.
Interesting. And,
Because we do,
yeah.
we kind of can tell because the way her mama is, but anyway, but yeah.
But yeah, Raquel, great character, great actress. Um, to You said 5 out of 5, right, for the movie. I say 4 out of 5 only because I feel like it kind of had a fairy tale ending, like everything worked out for him. But in reality, sometimes it's not gonna work out for you. You know what I mean? But other than that, I would say it's a great movie. You should go watch it. Sports fans, basketball fans, the actors and actresses were awesome in it. It had some good basketball scenes. That's my favorite scenes. I don't know if you have a favorite line or favorite scene you want to talk about, but the basketball scenes are my favorite. I like Michael Rainey Jr. movies. He also has another one on Netflix, but I haven't. I watched it, but it's like a number. While you talk, I'll go look it up. But it's a good movie also he's in that he did a couple years ago.
um, the my favorite line has to be the mom when they on FaceTime with each other, and she like, "Is this real? Like, you really got a B in math?" And he was like, "Yeah, I got a B." And she looking at him like, "How? You were just struggling the other day with math."
Yeah, and those blocks.
Yeah, those blocks. I think that was my favorite scene because it spoke the most truth. Like, no one's, you don't, oh, that was another thing I wanted to say about this movie. Like, what it gave me was, if you want to go, it reminded me when he was sitting in the gym, everything collapsed. He can't play ball for his old team. He can't play ball at all. He's expelled. He's just sitting watching everybody play. And he looks so distraught. And it reminded me of just like, which path do you want to take if you're trying to make it to your dreams, whatever dream it is. Do you want to go the fast route or do you want to go the slow route? Because for me, I was thinking like, dang, what if he didn't try to think so much about the money and so much about getting somewhere quick? You're in 8th grade, one, okay, but it was like, what if you just stayed on that team? You would have still got to the NBA. You would have still got to your dreams eventually. It just would have been slower. You would have still been able to still be a kid. You can still go hang out with your friends and just be a kid. But then what would have happened with his family, with his, it seemed like they was about to get kicked out of their crib at one point. I'm like, where are y'all going? But they didn't really explain that. But anyway, I like how the mom didn't really make decision for him. She kind of let him figure it out on his own. I don't know if because she didn't know the math problems either, or she wanted him to figure it out. But either way, it was like, dang, what path do you want to take?
Yeah.
You can go the fast route, but it's gonna be all these issues, and you probably still gonna work it out in the end because you ain't gonna have no choice. But do you want to go through all that pain and heartache and all that?
Yeah, that's deep. The slow route, the hard route, the easy route, the slow pace, fast pace, a lot of obstacles. Yeah, that's a good one. Oh, before I go, I learned this because I read an article about it, and they said that the amateur movie almost didn't happen, and they was searching for the lead, Terron, which ended up being Michael Rainey Jr. But the problem was they wanted to find someone that could play basketball, right? But if you found a basketball player that was like maybe, middle school or high school, they would have to get paid for the role. However, if you paid that high school basketball player or middle school basketball player money, they wouldn't be able to go to college. Why? Because they would say that, you got paid, right? And so I thought that was interesting because the movie is sort of, about that, right? And I was like, wow, they actually went through this. So they actually got an actor, right? Michael Rainey Jr. And they gave him they gave him a trainer, but they said he could play basketball and do both. But yeah, I thought that was interesting. Wow. So why can't you do both? And if it was a legit contract, I still don't understand why they would have so much trouble. Just explain to the NCAA, hey, you know. So I thought that was interesting. I was like, wow. I mean, now they could do it, right? Because of the NIL deals, but still, I was like, wow, that was interesting. So I thought that was pretty interesting. And also the movie I was talking about on Netflix, it's called 211. So that's another movie that Michael Rainey Jr. is in. If you guys want to check that out, I saw it like a couple years ago. It was pretty good. It's pretty good. So to wrap this up, I'm gonna say you guys must watch it. Must go to Road to William. Check out my cuzzo's videos every day, every single day. A new video, new video, new video. Stacks on stacks on stacks. A lot of reviews. Tell them, tell them, tell them.
Tell them. Remember that song?
Oh, yeah, that used to be our show. Tell them, tell them.
Yeah, go to Road to William. I'm doing reviews. I'm going over, I'm giving people their flowers and people you most likely wouldn't give flowers to or they talk down on or get overlooked. I just dropped a video today. Go check that out. Ma Rainey. I talk a little bit about Ma Rainey's history and also the movie Black Bottom, which is a really good film to check out. I know my cuzzo loves Viola Davis. Shout out to Viola Davis. Rest in peace to Chadwick Boseman. Everybody in that film was lit. Anyways, go check that out. We dropping as I'm trying to drop every day. Sometimes it be a struggle, but you gotta push through it. But yeah, we're gonna drop another. Me and Cuzzo about to drop a movie review. Let us know in the comments if you want us to drop a. We doing TV reviews now. We getting requests now. We on the way up. So you better request it in the comments.
Be going up.
Messages, you know. But yeah, go check Road to Williams. Subscribe to my cousin's channel, I Be Ballin Basketball Show. Go to the I Be Ballin Basketball group on Facebook. It be lit. People be watching on there. It be lit. It's going up. That's where I be at most of the day. I would be like, dang, this motherfucker post again. Like, hey, it's basketball. I see it. Even if it's a basketball, I post it. It don't matter what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Go check everything out. RTW, IBB. Hey, go see all of it. We going up. Anything you want us to review, any TV show, any movie, we'll do it. You heard? Hallelujah. Peace. Thank you, cuz, for joining me. Shout out to Power Book fans. Shout out to Netflix fans. Ma Rainey, Black Bottom. That's another Netflix film y'all should go check out. You know, and peace. Everybody stay ballin'.
Yeah, whatever, long as I get my paper, I'ma do what I do to get it all late. Cause I mean, I shoot it up, the three gon' make it. Like it's Kobe, nigga, we going up. Like it's Kobe, nigga, we going up.